Hello, my name is Devin Shea. I'm a 20-year experienced junior architect and AEC professional. I am a BIM expert, implementation specialist, and Revit consultant. I have worked on Revit projects in over 30 different disciplines, 5 countries, 15 states, and I've worked on Revit projects in every occupancy type. As a trainer and consultant, I have taught at 7 schools and 5 Autodesk training centers. I have taught over 2,000 professionals in Revit in 2 countries and 15 states. I have been teaching engineers, architects, and artists how to draw for over 20 years. Feel free to follow me on LinkedIn and YouTube and enjoy the videos. How's everybody doing? It's time for a quick tutorial on residential electrical and lighting. So I'm going to go over a project that I've been working on. I designed this for a client a couple years ago, and I'm going back and cleaning it up and putting a little more detail in there, getting a little 400 LOD crazy. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go over electrical equipment, electrical devices, lighting fixture, and lighting devices. I'm going to show you basically how I did all of the, wrong drawing. I'm going to show you how I did all of the electrical stuff in this house, from the panel, the receptacles, lighting fixtures, and switch if we have time. So I'm going to go over electrical settings, panel templates, and basically how to do everything in the electrical department. My favorite part of this is, as architects, we just go in here and lay out the lights essentially, and then we draw little arc wires to indicate what circuit they're on and all that good stuff, and then the electrical engineering folks do the rest. But if you, in Revit, if you have all of this stuff circuited together, you just click a button and it does the wiring for you. So what I'm going to do is I basically went in here and I deleted everything. So I'm going to go to this one, so you can see that I have deleted all of the devices, and we're going to pretend that we just inherited an project from the architect, and we are going to do all the lights. So the first thing you need to be aware is if you are an architect and you're using an architect template, you probably don't have any electrical settings. So in the Manage tab under MEP settings, you can go down to electrical settings here. And first, your project has to have electricity before you can circuit things. So if we look at voltage definitions and distribution systems, voltage definition basically tells you how many watts and volts and all this good jazz that electricals folks do. Distribution systems is your Y's and your voltages and phases and all that good stuff, and these all in here are just the rest of the settings. So you have to set up using a electrical template instead of an architectural template, because the architectural doesn't have the power. So what we're going to do here is, you can see that in the architectural model I originally did the electrical stuff, and then I broke it out into an electrical model mainly for just teaching demo purposes. But what we're going to do here is we're going to place some lights. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and turn off some stuff. So these are linked models, just like in the real world. If you were an MEP person, you'd insert the architect's model and then you would host your devices to that model. So I'm going to go in here, turn off the structure for now, And actually, you know what? Let's do the basement first because that's easier. We'll turn off that one. Okay, so here is the lovely structural model. I did this one myself also, but we're going to go in here, and all we need is the walls for right now. So we go in here to the visibility graphics, turn off all this stuff, turn on my walls. Okay, so here is the basement. So I'm just going to start throwing stuff in here. So under the Systems tab is where we'll find all of our stuff for today. First thing I'm going to do is a panel, which is electrical equipment. So go to the electrical equipment tab, and we're going to look at all of our different panel options here. So again, I'm not an electrical person, but I know that this one works. Basically, you just want to use the correct panel for the right light job that you're doing here. So I'm going to pick this one because it's residential, and most of the devices are face hosted. But some of them are specific to walls or ceilings. If it's a ceiling light goes on the ceiling, etc. So we can either use the face option or the work plane option. I'm going to go with face and just put this on the face of the wall, and then I'm going to select that really quick. See what we're dealing with here. These are all of the settings for the panel. It says that it's recessed, but it doesn't look like it. I might have it inside out. So when I grab the panel here, you can name it, give it a type. You see that it has your GUI ID and all that good stuff. It gives you basic stuff like elevation and what level it's hosted to. Hosting electrical items to the correct level are extremely important because you have thousands and thousands of devices. Hard to keep track of. Okay, so here's the tricky thing. Any electrical device has a power button, but you do not want to power the panel because the panel is the thing that provides power. So that is a little confusing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a panel schedule. So I'm going to come up here and create the panel schedule. An MEP company has tons of different templates that they use for different applications. So we're just going to use the default because that is the easiest one. And notice how it has nothing in here currently. You can give it a name. Caps lock is on. Okay, and now we look down here in our project browser, and you'll see that we do have a panel schedule down here. All right, the next thing we're going to do is add some lights. So I am going to require something to host a light to. What I'm going to do here is just quickly go in here and make a ceiling because I have set my work plane. So I have my ceilings buried in somebody else's okay, so I'm just going to real quick make a ceiling here. And of course I'm being sloppy because this is a tutorial. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is go back to Systems, and I'm going to do a lighting fixture this time. So I'll just throw a can light on there for now. A couple can lights. So when you're putting lighting fixtures or any electrical items, it's very important to get it on the proper host or the face of where it's going. So once you just get a few onto the face of where you're going here, then you can go to any of your 2D views or go to top view or whatever and use, just make a few copies here. Okay, then you can use your dimensions. Come down here, just hit EQ. And we'll do the same thing. There we go. I don't know. Point being, you can use your tools there to get them nice and clean, but the important part is they are on the proper face. Okay, so now I have those, and I'm going to go ahead and put in a I'm going to go ahead and put in 1 second. We're going to put in some receptacles. Alright, so now we're going to go over here and go to electrical equipment, device, and there is a dryer receptacle. Alright, we'll use that one. We're going to have a dryer downstairs, and now we have a option for place on vertical face. Different devices have different placement items. So I'm going to place that. Next thing I'm going to do is put a normal receptacle. So a standard duplex. Maybe I'll put them over here. Put one over there. All right. Again, we can use our annotation. Come down here. Grab these really fast. Just do an EQ. So notice in the new 23 that the constraint thing has gotten a little out of hand. Okay, there we are. So again, we go to 3D. I'm just going to hide this ceiling so it's out of the way. All right, so now we have all of that. Let's go ahead and put a switch in the mix here. So go to device and switch down there. Switches are a little tricky. I'll show you why here in a second. I think this is the wrong kind of switch. Okay, so now we have all of the components to create a proper electrical model. Only 12 minutes. So what I'm going to do, it doesn't matter which device you start with, but think of it as all of your Revit devices have to go in a logical manner. And you only, just like the real world, you only get a certain amount of devices that you can put in one circuit. So I'm going to do lights first. So I'm going to select the light. And when I select the light, you'll see up here in the ribbon, I have options for power and switch. So the first thing we do is attach it to the power. So I'm going to click this power button. And so what that does is I just powered the can light. So I added power to it. Next step you have to do is you have to add it to a panel. So here is the panel that I previously named Devon right here. And then it's going to ask me, is this a breaker or a lug situation? So I'm going to say it's a breaker. All right, so now I've officially added that to the circuit. And what we can do is I can go to the panel template really fast, and you will see that here is my circuit. So I can come back and do this, or I can do it now, but I'll go ahead and label this basement lights. Then I'm going to go back to my 3D and remember which light I just powered, because you have to grab the correct one. So I have to grab the one that I already circuited. If not, if I grab this one and then I power it, what could happen, yep, it starts up a new circuit. So see how it started up a new circuit? So things that you want on the same circuit, you have to add to the circuit. I'm just going to hit undo on that one. All right, so I'm going to grab the one I already powered. I'm going to go to my ribbon and click electrical circuit here, the orange one. And then I'm going to say, what's going on? I'm going to say edit circuit and then add to circuit. So then I'm going to go and click all of the ceiling lights, all of them, and then I'm going to hit finish. All right, so once I do that, once I do that, I can go back to my panel template and see panel schedule, use the right words, and that is all on the same panel. Circuit. I'm not good with words, everybody. I'm a computer person. All right, so next thing we're going to do is add our devices. So we're going to go down, same basic procedure, select our receptacles, and then I'm going to power them. And then I'm going to go to edit circuit. Make sure your panel is selected, by the way. Edit circuit, add to circuit. Oh, that was my stove, wasn't it? Okay. All right, so one of these was a stove. So what I'm going to do is just make a copy, a couple more here. And so I'm going to go to the original one I powered. Oh, I wasn't done with the function, apparently. All right, so I'm going to hit power again. And then I'm going to say edit circuit. And then I'm going to add the circuit. I'm going to add these other two. Okay, so for this, finish real fast. Where did my stove go? Dryer. Okay. So in your dryer switch here, see how I have a 220 volt dryer. By default, just to let you know, by default in Revit, your 220 volt receptacle only comes with one pole. So to add it to the same panel, you have to add a second pole to the 220. I already did that since I copied this file. I basically already had this pole set up to 2 poles. So keep that in mind. If your dryer or your stove does not connect to the circuit, you have to change the pole to 2. Okay, let's go back and check our... I'm not good with words and I don't spell good. Alright, that's that dryer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the dryer on a separate circuit. So here is the dryer. You can also change the circuit numbers and you can reorder them. If I select this one, you can move up and down to change these. And I don't know what rebalance loads is, what the function is, but that is how you can reformat your circuits. Okay, so we've got everything hooked up, right? Now for my favorite part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over one of these devices that I have circuited. Second, let's do view range. I have to be able to see my. Alright. Okay, so hovering above tab. Excuse me. Hovering above the device, I'm going to hit my tab key. So your tab key that is used for cycle selection, I'm going to hover above the device. I'm going to hit tab. Notice how you see the arc wires showing up. I then will click. Once I click, you'll see some options coming up. I can use the arc wire or the chamfered wire. I'm going to do the arc wire. Oops, I clicked the wrong button. Did the chamfered wire. So hover, tab, left click, click the wire. There we go. And that is how you add your wiring. 20 minutes. All right. So next one we'll do is this one. Wait, did I deactivate? What's going on? So right now I am above the ceiling plane, and it won't let me select. Okay, tab, tab, hover, hover, click. Okay, so these aren't, they're all hovering above each other, aren't they? Let's see, is this one circuited? Oh, that one is not circuited. I'm going to power it, edit circuit, add to circuit. There we go. Okay, hover, tab, click, arc, done. And there you are. Back to my panel schedule. Basement receptacles, can't spell 2. Alright, so now we're going to go back up to the top. We're going to... Oh, and by the way, so let's say I am a new person at the firm. I just got into this file. I don't like the ceiling. I hit delete. Oh, okay, they stayed there. Darn it. Must be a 2023 thing. Carrying on. So next step, what we're going to do is we're going to go back upstairs. Turn off this. All right, and now we're going to add a... Now we're going to add the rest of the lights and stuff. Okay, so we're going to do 8 minutes of design here. So I'm going to go R for roof, turn on my roofs and my walls. All right. I'm going to give my walls a little transparency here. You know what? This is a linked model. I always get a little stressed out when I'm doing tutorials. It's a little stressful. Let's turn this one on. So we have to go to the link. Turn those off. Go to my roof. Make sure that my electrical fixtures are on. Lighting as well. Okay. Turn on section box. So I always like to use this section box because it is a very handy device. Let's do the roof first. Alright, so you'll notice how these cans are inside out. That is because I copy monitored these initially when I put them into a new file, so they basically lost their face through the procedure here. So I'm going to use a can light. We have this set on place on face. So I'm just going to place one right there. All you really need to do is place one, get it on the face properly. And that is not going on said face, is it? No, it is. Transparency confuses you sometimes. All right, so do the same thing again. There we go. So remember, we just need to put one on there, just so it's on the right face. Okay, so here are a couple of chandelier lighting fancy things. So we're going to do whatever this guy is, a pendant light, that's the word. So same options, place on face, place on work plane. There you go. So it's very hard. You could just go to a plan and do most of these, but it's just kind of hard to do it if you're in plan and you have a non-linear surface or a non-vertical, whatever you want to say for that one. And here is a wall lamp. I know one of these goes on here, so I'm just going to put it on that face. And let's see, ceiling fan. It doesn't really look like a ceiling fan. I'm guessing that there is a generic. It's like going upside down. Oh, it's being cut by the cut plane. That's what's going on. Sorry, everybody. I like to talk to myself while I'm doing this. Okay, so I think I have most of those on there. We have 4 minutes. 4 minutes to add these to another circuit. Alright, so I'm going to go back to the main floor plan. Grab all of these. Delete those. We're going to go for a device. Oh, we haven't done the switch yet. Remember how I said if there's time? Device. Receptacle. Oh, place on vertical face. Use your tab key to flip faces. Okay. And then what we're going to do here. Alright, that's enough for now. So we're going to go to roof upper. We are going to hide this link here. See all those. Okay, so let's go over this again. We're going to circuit it. So we select the light fixture. We hit power. We go to edit circuit. Add to circuit. Click, click, click. Done. To wire them, we hover above the light fixture, hit tab, left click, select arc wire. Alright, now we go to our panel template. So now we started a new circuit, lighting, living room. And anytime that you want to add, let's say I want to add this fan to the current circuit, I select a light fixture in that circuit, then I go to electrical circuits up here, edit circuit, add to circuit, select item, finish, And then to add another wire to this, again, hover above light fixture, tab, left click, arc wire, done. And if you are adding a light, notice how it adds another one for you without duplicating or anything like that. Now we're going to go to main floor electrical. We're going to grab this one, power it, edit circuit, add to circuit, add devices, finish, hover above, tab, left click, arc wire, done. Go to panel template, change to living room tickle. Okay, so now we're going to go back to 3D here. We're going to grab a light fixture. So let's grab this fan here. Okay, see where it says switch up here? So I'm going to click switch. And what that is doing, so it'll say select a switch. And I'm trying to find that switch here. Where did I put that switch? And of course I can't find the switch. 1 second while I put a switch in. Switch. Lighting. Okay, I'm going to put a couple of switch types in here because, okay, there we go. Alright, so I'm going to grab this light fixture. I'm going to hit the light fixture that's already circuited. I'm going to hit switch. Okay, here's the switch. Didn't do it right. Switch. I'm going to select switch. Select this switch. There we go. And I added the switch. Let's see. Tab. All right. And there we go. I went 1 minute over. So you can see that the switch is attached to the system, and if I select that can light, I now have switch systems, and it doesn't tell me that in my panel schedule, but it does. All right, well that is all for today. 30 minutes. I took a little longer than I wanted to, but thanks for stopping by. And visit devinshay.com and hit the contact form, or leave a comment on the YouTube and tell me what other nice tutorials you want me to do. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Be sure to subscribe and like and that notification thing and whatever YouTube stuff you guys do. Have a good one.